Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Retire on Purpose podcast. My name is Andrew Pallas. I'm a certified financial planner here at Minnick McGregor Wealth Management. Today and always, we're joined by my co-host and colleague, Cory Laird, registered, Medicare specialist,
Yeah.
a certified Social Security specialist that comes with some Medicare knowledge as well.
Correct.
I would say our Medicare guru. And that's what we're here to talk about today is good old Medicare.
Oh, lovely.
Getting up to October, which is open enrollment. So I'm sure everybody's going to be top of mind with, what is Medicare, and
Coming up.
going to be getting a lot of things in the mail, I'm sure, on Medicare. But
Exciting. It's the only way that the UPS gets paid.
yeah, the postage, I don't know. I don't know who. I mean, it seems like a too big of a cost, but
That and advertisements. Yeah.
sure. So today we're going to talk about the parts that make up Medicare.
Yeah.
Cory, where do you want to start?
So Medicare is a very complicated subject, and this video is going to be 12 minutes long, give or take. So we can't go quite into the details.
Agreed.
And we can't really go into the very minute, when should you apply, how should you apply.
Yes.
What I want to go over is really the 5 big parts
Sure.
of Medicare, and kind of starting there and going into a little bit of just the 5 main parts of
Okay.
Medicare.
Do you want to start with the alphabet soup, starting with the letter A?
Yeah. So
All right.
A for Apple. Medicare Part A is the free part of
Right.
Medicare. It's not free. You paid it through your taxes over your lifetime. So assuming you paid and worked at least 10 years,
Mhm.
it will be free because you've already paid into it.
Mhm.
But it's effectively the hospital care. So you think of it as the insurance for the building that you go into for your medical needs.
Okay.
Next is going to be Part B.
Right.
I'm not a big surprise here. Where what's after A is B.
Right.
B for boy.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So Medicare Part B is the one that takes $185 per month.
This year.
This
Still
year.
up.
It is inflated each and every year. So last year was 175. The year before that, I think it was 168. The next year they proposed 205 or whatever it may be.
Yep. And
But-
this one typically comes out of your Social Security check if you're receiving Social Security.
Yep.
If you're not, then
Yeah, the premium comes out of your Social Security check. It also, if you don't have Social Security
Right.
and you're on Medicare, which can be a thing,
yes.
then you pay quarterly
Correct.
out of your checking account. Yeah. And Part B is the one that covers the people that you see. If A is the building that you go into, the hospital care, B is going to be the people, the doctors and the nurses paying for the people that you see.
Okay. So we go A, B. That's all I need, right?
Yeah. So I would say
Those standalone are gonna
Yeah.
take care of everything that you need. So
I would generally say that, and I can pretty much say this with strong confidence,
Sure.
that nobody should be just on A and B.
I agree with that.
It is not by itself, those two by itself, which are the only required parts of Medicare, mind you. But having just those 2 parts is quite dangerous.
Yes.
The medical care, there's no medical cap to expenses. That alone, it could literally bankrupt you. So you wouldn't want just A and B. It's quite dangerous for your budget. One doctor visit could cost you $100,000, and you're paying 20 of that 100. That's a bad thing.
So it sounds like we need to supplement
Correct.
that with some additional Medicare.
Correct. Yes. And so if there's 5 parts of Medicare, the 2 are the only required ones. The other 3 are you voluntarily sign up for them. And you don't need all 3. In fact, you can't sign up for all 3.
Right.
And so it's really a choice between one or the other 2. Yeah. So the one is the Part C, or Medicare Advantage plan. So this is a very traditional HMO, PPO
Right.
type of situation. It replaces A and B as your primary health insurance. You still would need to sign up for A and B, but A and B becomes your secondary, and the Part C becomes your primary. A and B is through the government. C is through a private company.
And that's really what, when we're talking about getting a lot of things in the mail, that's what's being
that's
sent to you. It's what the advertisements for. These individual insurance companies are trying to get your business in terms of signing up for their supplemental plan, their Medicare Advantage plan with
Medicare
that.
Advantage plan.
Yeah.
And it should be noted that a Part C plan has lower premiums,
Yes.
but copays.
Right.
So it's effectively, if you go to the doctor a lot, you're going to be paying a low premium, but you're paying a lot of copays.
Yep.
If you don't go to the doctor at all, then you're going to be quite happy with the lower premiums and lower copays because you don't use it.
Yes.
So it's a very much you don't pay if you don't use it, and you pay a lot if you go to the doctor
Yeah,
alone.
because there's some co-insurance, along with that too,
Copays,
depending on,
yeah. Yeah.
co-pays, co-insurance, for specialists, your primary care physician, things of that nature.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. And so, Part C, you got A, B, C, and then the other options would be what's called a supplemental plan or a Medigap. Those are
right.
interchangeable words. Yeah. And if you go that path, if you go the Medigap path, the supplemental path, then you need to add into a Part D as well on top of that, which is the prescription drug coverage, D for drugs.
And you can't have a Medicare Advantage plan and a Medigap plan, right?
You
You
cannot.
can only have
No.
one or the other.
Why they prevent people from doing that? That's question mark. But no, you cannot. You have to choose one or the other. Yeah. So a supplemental plan, as Part C is lower premiums and copays, and supplemental plan is the opposite. It's higher premiums, much higher premiums, and the copays are generally much, much lower.
And there's the whole alphabet soup within Medigap as well.
Yes.
So,
So that's where a lot of the confusion comes in, where you have Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D for Medicare. Medigap has 9 plans to choose from. And the reason why there's so many plans in Medigap is from least amount of coverage to most amount of coverage. So, and to make it confusing, they have letters associated with those plans as well. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C.
mhm.
Yeah, so it's quite confusing in terms of what plans do what and which plan and which parts to look at. But really, this podcast, we're looking at the 5 major parts. A is for hospital, B is for doctors and nurses and the people. C is kind of HMO, PPO, low premium, higher copays, and Medigap is higher premiums, lower copays. So if you go to the doctor a lot, like
Yes.
2 or 3 times a month, then maybe Medigap would be a better option for you.
And as we get into open enrollment season, this is the time of year where you could switch from one to the other, correct?
You can switch one to the other. It should be noted that, many of our clients in New York, they have a lot more favorable, the ability to switch is a lot more favorable for a state like New York, but most states, for example, Florida, Texas, most states will be able to look at your pre-existing conditions, your age, whether you smoke or not, your gender. They'll be able to look at all these things and either price you differently, charge you more, or just flat out deny you. They could do that.
Mhm.
So yes, open enrollment is coming up, but if you're in a state that like Texas, Florida, and there's 42 states that work like this, that you're able to you're trying to switch into another plan, they might be able to charge you more. They might deny you.
Okay. Do you want to talk about, if I'm, let's say, certain situations where, I'm over 65, still working, doesn't make sense for me to sign up for Medicare at that point?
So there are, Medicare is a silo of itself. A, B, C, D, Medigap, that's a silo of itself. There's another silo on itself as well, and it's the employer coverage.
Hmm.
And it comes in 3 different forms, employer coverage. It comes into whether you or your spouse is still working.
Mhm.
Okay. To answer your question, you typically you don't need to sign up for Medicare if you have employer coverage. Each employer is a little different in that role, so you always want to check with your HR to confirm that. If you they if you I will cut this out, but if you do not check the HR department and you did need to sign up for Medicare, there could be a penalty in the future. So you really need to check your HR department on that.
But if you're covered and let's say your spouse is retired, but you check with your HR department and she is also, or he is also covered,
Correct.
then in that case,
Check their HR. The other 2 faucets of this silo is going to be Cobra. I will warn people that Cobra is not a qualified health insurance
Right.
to not sign up for Medicare. That means that if you retire at 64 and a half and you think you're going to keep your Cobra for a year and a half after that, and then jump onto Medicare, they will penalize you for not jumping onto Medicare in a timely fashion. Cobra is not a qualified health insurance when compared to Medicare. So keep that in mind that if you're on Cobra and you're approaching 65, you will most likely need to sign up for Medicare at 65 years old.
Typically cut this out, but that's
Yeah.
a better form of
Yeah, but I've seen it happen. Yeah. So the other thing is some employers offer non-COBRA but retiree health insurance.
Hmm.
Those will require you to sign up for Medicare, but maybe you only need the A and the B Medicare.
Right.
Maybe you don't need the C or the Medigap, because if an employer offers a plan, maybe you can just choose the A and the B in your employer health insurance. We see a lot of that with
Educators.
yeah, educators, state benefits, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the open enrollment is coming up, but there are certain enrollment periods, right? Special enrollment periods that do occur. Life-changing event, for example, retirement,
Yeah.
that allows you to enroll in Medicare. If you're outside of the open enrollment
Yeah,
time period.
yeah, you generally have a special enrollment of 8 months
Yep.
from when you leave work, but I just throw that factoid out the window, because if you're approaching retirement, you don't want a gap of coverage, right?
You want to prepare.
Yeah, so you might have 8 months to sign up for Medicare without penalty, but if you take those 8 months, that means you have 7 months of gap of coverage,
Mhm.
and who knows what can happen. I think that would be dangerous. So, 8 months, yes, but I think the real key here is to get ahead of Medicare, get ahead of applying for it, so it starts the month you need it, not, some 8 month period of time forward.
Okay. Any other, topical things you want to make sure we mention about Medicare before we wrap it up?
No, let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, this was another edition of the Retire on Purpose podcast. If you feel that this was informational, someone could benefit from this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Other than that, we will see you on the next iteration of the Retire on Purpose podcast. Thank you for watching.
Adios.